Here is the story time of the worst meNtŷ I've ever had. My podcast episode this week is all about meNtÜ, like burnout, all of those things, and like how to actually deal with it. But I was like, let me do a story time of the worst mental breakdowns I've ever fucking had because I'm prone to them. Listen to my podcast episode if you want to know how to like deal with, or how I deal with them and just how I fucking cope. This first meNtÜ was a bad one. Like, I have not had this bad of a meNtÜ in fucking years. Basically, one of my exes used to live on the beach and it was an hour away from where I live currently. So I was like, okay, yeah, perfect. Let's do like a beach weekend. Like, we'll have like a little date weekend. I love that. I know I said ex because he is an ex to me, but like we were never official. So you need to keep that in mind because that's like a series of events that happens. So never official boyfriend and girlfriend, but like fucking only exclusively seeing each other. The dumbest shit in the world. Either date me or fucking get lost, bitch. Like whatever. We have this beach weekend, but we get in a massive fight. He said something about not wanting to be on like I fucking forget, but like he didn't want to be in the background of my TikTok or anything like that. Mind you, I had like 70,000 followers at the time and it was like literally 300 people were watching my videos. Like it wasn't that big of a deal. And he was like, I just can't. And I made like I was in my indie blue era and I was like making like an aesthetic vlog and he was like, don't even put my fucking feet in there. And I was like, you can die. So we get in a huge fight about that. Next morning we wake up and I'm like, babe, I'm so sorry. I like literally try and suck his dick. He's like, I'm too sad for you to suck my dick. I was like, okay, I'm not getting fucked today. Whatever, we make up. Later in the day, we get in another fight. In this fight, we basically end things and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. This man was supposed to drive me home this entire time. And I'm the type of bitch, when you switch up plans like that, I don't do fucking well. Like I will lose my mind. If I know you're driving me home, you're driving me fucking home. Like I'm not thinking anything else. Also, I'm an hour away from my fucking house. He rolls over, looks at me and he's like, hey, like I'm too emotional to drive you home. Can you take the train? I said, too fucking emotional. I said, you know what? We're good. We're good. Like, I'll call you an Uber. I'm like, I don't want to be in the car with a random fucking man for an hour. Like, I don't even know where I am. I pack my shit. I'm like, whatever, I'm taking the train. Like, just literally don't talk to me. My ass gets outside of that house and I will never forget it. I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, I'm gonna have a breakdown. I had a full fucking breakdown. I'm talking like anxiety attack with the crying, the shaking, the heaving, like all of it. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't felt this way in so fucking long. So I call him and he's like, do you want me to call you an Uber? I'm like, no, just like I need someone to talk to. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck brought on this meNtÜ, but I'm just sitting there having a full fucking breakdown. And like, I feel like that a lot when I have my mental breakdowns where I'm like, I don't know the reason why I am. I just feel fucking overwhelmed and I'm just having a meNtÜ. I'm hyperventilating. I start bawling about the randomest shit. I'm like, I miss my dead friend, like dumb shit like that. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, everything that could have ever possibly went wrong in my life came up in that exact moment and I just had a full fucking breakdown. But then he's like, do you need me to drive you home? Like, I really don't want to. And I'm like, yeah, can you please fucking drive me home? I'm clearly mentally unstable right now. That's like the least you can do. It was the awkwardest car ride I've ever had in my entire life. Because mind you, I'm like, should we talk about things? He's like, no. Like, he was fucking miserable to be driving me home. And I was like, babe, this was the plan from the beginning. I'm just following through with these plans. And I'm like, like, just had a mental breakdown. Like, what's up? And it's an uncomfortable feeling to be with someone that you had a mental breakdown in front of. And you're like, okay, you're judging me. Like, you're clearly fucking judging me. Like, I get it. I had a little meNtÜ and now you're like, what the fuck is wrong with her? I also have really bad meNtÜs about like little things. Like I just feel like something happens and it sets me the fuck off and then I just like bawl my fucking eyes out and I'll have like a fucking panic attack. Like if I stub my fucking toes, I'll lose my goddamn mind and I'll start crying about things that happened to me in like 2015. Like I kid you not, I'm like, I'm still not over my breakup from that day. And honestly, every single time I have a meNtÜ, I call Sissy. Sissy and my mother always will mostly Sissy will get my calls of the meNtÜs and they're like, it's okay, you're okay. But literally it'll be like the littlest things that just fucking set me off. And I honestly like don't think they're a bad thing. I think it's good that I have that emotional release and I just bawl my fucking eyes out for a good 20 minutes. I did have low-key meNtÜs when I would take the L in Chicago and like not really the subway in New York, but for something about the L in Chicago, that's like the train that goes underground. That thing would just drive me fucking crazy. And I just would remember like being like, I need to get off of this immediately and just like bawling my fucking eyes out on the phone to my mom and just being like, I'm stressed about college. It's like, bitch, you cheated. Like, why are you stressed about college? You literally cheated your way through school, babe. Like, you're good. The main reason I call Sissy or my mom while I'm having a meNtŷ is because they're not going to like judge me for having them. They're like, okay, they just like let me cry it out, and they're like, okay, no, like we get it. Life is difficult, and you're just going through something. Like you need people in your corner that are not going to be like, why the fuck is she having a meNtÜ? It's like it's normal. I literally can't describe it though. It's just like the littlest things or even like the biggest things will just set it off. But I always feel like 30 million times better after I have one. I like feel refreshed. I feel rejuvenated. I'm like, oh, I needed this, and now I can go on with my day. Those are the story times of the worst meNtÜs I've had, / just like my meNtÜs in general.
My 19-year-old sister is getting married to her high school teacher. My younger sister is getting married to her 36-year-old high school teacher in a few days, and everyone seems okay with it. She graduated a year ago, and they told us they were dating almost immediately after graduation. I was shocked and angry, but everyone around me was happy and supportive of them. What is that, 1936? That's like 17 years? Oh God. The teacher divorced his wife 2 years ago and started paying attention to my sister. He spoke to her after class regularly and paid special attention to her studies. I thought this was weird and talked to her about this, but she told me he was helping her because she was the best student of her class, which she was. A few months ago, only a few months into dating, they announced that they were engaged. I tried talking to my parents about their age difference and stuff, but they didn't want to hear it. I talked to my sister and she told me that she is happy and that she loves him. We live in a small town with a tight-knit community and everyone else is supporting their marriage. I'm feeling useless right now and I'm angry at myself. I was unable to protect my sister. I feel like I failed my duties as an older sibling. I hate everyone around me. How do they not see what's going on here? There's only so much you can do as a sibling. Blame your parents. Oh my God. And so here's an update. The marriage happened. I contemplated not going to the ceremony, but I didn't want to hurt my little sister, so I went reluctantly. My blood was boiling throughout the whole thing. Everyone who came to the ceremony congratulated them. I couldn't even look the teacher in the face because I was so angry at him. I hated the whole thing. I'm leaving this town tomorrow. I had some interviews lined up and got selected in one. It's in a city and I'm moving tomorrow. I can't stand these people. My parents think that getting married to a good guy with a stable job is the best thing that could have happened to my sister, and my relatives agreed. He groomed her. Why doesn't anyone else see that? I wanted to scream at everyone. When I told my sister I was leaving, she cried. I reassured her and told her that I wasn't angry at her. I made it clear to her that she could contact me anytime under any circumstances and that I'd be there for her. I bought her a phone and told her that I'd talk to her regularly. I tried to not antagonize anyone because I want them to reach out to me if anything happens. It was very hard to do. I came very close to fighting several people. My sister was a star student. I always thought that she would go to a big college and become someone significant, but now she's going to be a housewife. That thought is destroying me. I wasn't harsh on her because I'm hoping that she wakes up soon and I want to be there for her when that happens. I want to support her and to see her full potential, and I'm wishing it happens soon. So he has a few edits that he has. I've told her not to have children until she's sure. She has a contraceptive implant and I told her not to get it removed for at least a couple of years. I told her to tell me if anyone ever pressured her to have it removed. I really hope she follows my advice. I'm just checking the comments and the amount of people defending the teacher is insane. People like you are the problem. She was groomed since she was 16. Why can't you people see that? I wouldn't have any problem with her choices if she wasn't coerced into them. Him being an older man isn't my issue here. Him being her teacher is. Also, I don't think being a housewife is bad. What I don't like is that the choice of something more is being taken away from my sister. As for the phone thing, my parents did not allow my sister to own a phone. She had to use the landline if she wanted to talk to people. That's why I bought her a phone. You're telling me this child who didn't even have a cell phone got married to her teacher? Oh my God, this makes me so sad. I want to cry. Am I wrong for backing out of paying for my sister's wedding dress over a joke she made? I had an incident on my wedding day back in 2017 where my former fiance abandoned me and ran away with his pregnant mistress. That image, those details are forever engraved on my mind, and I'll never forget how I felt that day. That was truly a turning point in my life. My family has always been there for me, so I kept close to them. My younger sister is currently engaged and her wedding will be in a few months. She's struggling with money, so I decided to help her and her fiance and pay for the wedding dress. This allowed her to be able to buy her dream wedding gown that cost $7,000. It's a lot for a dress, but she literally cried because she wanted it. This happened a few days before we agreed to go buy the dress. We were eating dinner at my parents' house and my cousin and aunt were there. My aunt was asking my sister about the wedding and my sister said that everything was going according to plan and then casually laughed and said, "Let's just hope he won't run away with a pregnant mistress or something on our wedding day." I was blown away completely. She laughed and my aunt laughed too, as if this was a joke. She was basically mocking what happened with me on my wedding. It happened so fast. I got up and started screaming at her, calling her an idiot, but my parents asked me to take it easy and said she thought it was a joke and didn't think I'd react so intensely. My aunt remained seated and my cousin asked me to calm down and drink some water, but I grabbed my stuff and I was getting ready to leave. I told my sister she was getting $0 for her dream wedding dress, then I walked out. I heard louder commotion as I walked away and my dad and cousin followed me outside trying to talk, but I asked to be left alone. My dad and I spoke and he said I was too harsh on my sister over a joke and said that I know this is how she is with her dark sense of humor. They said she's been crying after I decided to back out of helping her and said this would ruin her wedding. They want me to reconsider my decision since it might damage my relationship with my sister, but I refused. Did I overreact? See, it speaks volume that she's crying over potentially not having her dream wedding dress, but I would be crying over hurting my sister that much.